I started this painting at the start of quarantine when I think all of us had a phase of hyperproductivity and wanting to use the free time we had to get as many things done as possible, whether it was things that we had to do or things we put on the back burner because we were stuck in our daily routine. I never ended up uploading it because I thought it's not that interesting, it's too long. And I just got very judgmental over myself. I had still not recorded a voiceover for it, and then I had the idea that instead of doing a voiceover where I would describe what I was painting, it'd be more fun to turn it into a podcast-like voiceover. Another thing I did excessively during quarantine, podcast after podcast. And yeah, I thought it'd be fun to hear about someone's perspective on a different topic or issue they're dealing with. The first thing that popped into my head was in fact what I was going through during the making of this painting, which was, and sorry for repeating myself now, but it was the storm of wanting to get 100 things done at once and trying new things. Some of which I never thought I'd try my entire life, honestly. So here's a briefing of my quarantine experience that I wanted to share, coming from someone who is usually lazy, a procrastinator, starting things and never finishing them, and getting tons of project ideas that never really mount to anything. Yeah, that's me. Also, as you can see, I'm painting a seascape, which I think is my favorite kind of painting right now. I love the blue colors, they're very relaxing and at the same time eye-catching. So I did the sky first, then I mapped out where the rocks were going to be placed on the canvas, and then I went with painting the sea top to bottom, finishing each section almost completely before going to the next. I even add some of the details like the specks of white on the water at the top before even starting to work on the rocks. Also, I'm using acrylics here. I'm used to oils, but I thought I'd try something new. I ended up liking it even though I still prefer oils. I find it easier that way to correct any mistakes since it doesn't dry as fast. But that's not to say that I didn't enjoy acrylics just as much. Back to what I was saying, so I was very excited at first about being forced to stay home. I think any introvert like me felt the same. I love staying alone in my comfort zone. My room is my happy place. So yeah, good vibes. At first. I had started reading the book Miracle Morning 10 months before this, which I would very much recommend. And yes, 10 months. I'm a very slow reader. I still haven't finished it at this point, but I was still very excited to get back to it and, have a perfect intensive course on disciplining myself and getting a great routine. And if you didn't know, the book was written by Hal Elrod, and it basically talks about 5 habits you need to develop during your day in order to have a good kickstart to your day and developing a great routine and having a successful morning/day and consequently a successful life. I got back to reading that. I started this painting, I started doing yoga, I started eating breakfast, which yes, I never used to have breakfast apart from maybe the occasional banana if I had woken up early that day and skipped the 10 to 30 minute Instagram scroll in bed. I was on my A game for maybe 2 weeks, and then I hit the downfall, doing the exact opposite of what I had learned for the next couple of weeks. I felt trapped, I was back to procrastinating, and keep in mind I had to start revising for my online exams, which was a first for me to take an exam online. I mean, as it was for most people, I think. And throughout my unproductivity, I started comparing myself to the other Instagram people that were still on their A game, running actual businesses from their homes. Routine for me was a vicious cycle of ups and downs. I then started getting really excited about my essential groceries runs that I used to hate when I wasn't self-isolating. It really reinforced in my head the idea of needing balance in every aspect of life. I used to pride myself on the fact that, because I was an introvert and kind of antisocial, I would be able to spend hours and hours and days on end without needing social interaction or without needing to leave my house. But by a month, that turned out to be not the case. at all. So something I'd like to work on in the future would definitely be balance in my life. Aside from my ongoing quest to disciplining myself into having healthy everyday habits, I think balance in my productive and resting time inside and outside, alone and social time, I don't know how else I would call it, but it's very essential to have, and it's not something I ever really focused on before. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I don't know what else I could add to this. That's basically my quarantine experience and what I learned. And yeah, as for the painting, as you can see, I started with a dark layer for the rocks, like a dark brown layer for the rocks, and then I'm doing the highlights and going back again with dark and light colors again and again till I have the perfect shape and look that I like with the shadows. So that's pretty much the last thing I did before signing my canvas. This painting took me a total of 15 hours. I don't know if that's a long time or a short period of time, but I'm pretty happy with the results. Also, I forgot to mention this is a 30 by 40 centimeter canvas, and yeah, this is me signing it right now. That's it. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!